I mean, I was born here in Beatrice and grew up here. I went to work for that law firm and down in the Wymore office in 1981 and have been between our two offices ever since. I've always been more interested in the outdoors, so it was kind of curious that I picked a job where I'm inside most of the time. No symptoms at all of any kind. March 23rd of 2011, I got up and walked across the bedroom floor. The next thing I knew, I was on the floor. I mean, just in mid-stride. My wife heard the noise, and normally she would have been gone to work. And if she'd have been gone that morning, I'd have been done. But I was able to crawl up onto the bed, but I was not able to yell for her, and I was not able to get to the phone. The chest pain was really severe. We live 15 miles south of Beatrice, just a few miles north of the Kansas line. From downtown Beatrice, it's 15 miles to our place. And by 10 till 8, those guys were loading me in the rescue unit, and we were headed north toward Lincoln. I heard one of the EMTs tell the driver, "You put it to the floor and you keep it there." I know one of them said, "He's not going to make it to Lincoln." And all I could think about was, I'm not going to see my son graduate from college, and all the things that you wish, and I hope my wife understands what she needs to do with the business things. And I remember the rescue squad doors opening and people coming in. As soon as I got there, I died, is what the doctor told my wife. He basically said, if he's going to have any chance at all, this is what we need to do. And if he's going to have a chance to survive, he needs to get to the med center.
Well, he had originally shown up at Bryan Hospital. Unfortunately, he showed up there and they placed him on a temporary LVAD, but he'd essentially died. When he got here, he was in cardiogenic shock, and all his organ systems had started to fail. His case is one of the more dramatic ones where he literally had a sudden death event. Considering the condition he was in when he arrived, I would have been surprised if he survived more than several more hours. Several
of the people told us that if there was anybody that was going to figure out a way to save me, they told my wife and my son, especially that time when it was really touch and go of whether I was going to make it. They said, you know, we call him MacGyver for a reason, because if there's somebody that can figure out a way to keep your husband alive, it's going to be Dr. O. And when she asked him the plan and what he planned on doing, and he told her, he said, I don't know what we're going to do, because nobody with this much damage to the left side of their heart's still been around for us to do anything with. So we're just going to have to figure it out. And he did.
It was a bit of an educated guess as to whether he would survive all this. And so we took it on faith that he would recover, and we initiated all these therapies with the hope that he would eventually have a full recovery.
By the time I woke up, I had an LVAD. So I woke up, my heart was not working, and I had a pump running my system, and after about 60 days, came home with the LVAD on. Because the pump they put me on to get me from Lincoln to Omaha wouldn't pump enough blood, I lost my kidneys. So I was also on dialysis. The morning of May 31st, we were on our way to Lincoln for our last dialysis training session, and my wife's cell phone rang. It was the transplant coordinator, and she said, "We have your organs, you need to get to Omaha as fast as you can."
He was about to start dialysis at home when he got the call to come back to the hospital for the simultaneous heart and kidney transplant. He was the second one performed in Nebraska.
At 3:30 in the afternoon, I was on my way to surgery. They called her at about 11 o'clock and told her that Dr. M had the heart in, and the heart transplant portion was completed, and that they were going to change out the operating room and get it ready for the kidney people, the kidney team. He finished my heart transplant, that he told him he was going to his office to sleep, but that he was going to be there, and if I went south, they were to get him right away. And one of the nurses told me that by the time the kidney team got started, he was back and stood there the whole time and watched the kidney procedure, because he just was going to be that way. And during that 11 days that I was there at the med center, he would come in my room a lot of times in the morning before he started. Sometimes it was 5:30. There were lots of times that he'd come in my room at 9:30 at night and spend a half hour talking to you. I mean, the man's incredible.
I make it a point to be with all the patients while they're recovering from a heart transplant in the early stages when they're most critical. Everybody here from the heart failure cardiologist, myself, have a very strong vested interest to make sure that each and every one of these patients makes it through.
The doctors refer to me as their miracle man because there's no way I should be here. You know, one of those times I died, I should have stayed dead. My goal after the transplant was that my birthday was in July and my son's birthday was in July. And I said, you know, my goal is I want to see those. And I did.
Yeah, I think it's a testament to the vision of the University of Nebraska Medical Center and the Nebraska Medical Center to bring this technology to Nebraska and Western Iowa. Every day is a privilege to be able to do these things.
I mean, you hate to name names about the people that took care of you because there's so many of them that were so good. And there were just people that just were above and beyond at every step of this. But if you said make a list of the people that have touched your life and that you're never going to forget, that list is as long as my arm. You know, I'd go back there anytime for anything. If you're going to have a chance, that's where I want to be. Every day you wake up, you better be thankful that you're here and enjoy your family and the people around you while you can, because there's no guarantees how long you're going to get to do that.